you should look at your body as a bank account. And the food is what you deposit. The bank, the only thing that counts is how much money you deposit. It doesn't matter where the money comes from. Earned that money in some shady way, or even worse, you could work for ICE. If you all year long deposit junk food and then you deposit for a few weeks some more healthier food and then you go back to your junk food diet and you start depositing again burgers and fries, which impact do you think will that have over time on your net return on your bank account? All right, guys, so welcome back to the show. Today we're talking detoxing and detox diets and the cleansing industry. And there are tons of promises on social media telling you that you have to eat one specific thing, or you have to go through a specific diet regime, or you have to take specific supplements. And that would eliminate all the toxins from your body, whatever they are. And it doesn't matter what you were exposed to, and it doesn't matter what you have eaten before or what you will eat after. But today we're talking about the scientific part of those claims that you get rid of toxins. Are those actually myths, or is there something substantial to it? But before we go there, I would like to say again, thank you to all my subscribers here on YouTube. I'm really, really happy you found me, and also that you liked my content enough that you hit the subscribe button. That's really, really helpful. It means the world to me. And if you are watching this, we're getting a lot more views than we get subscribers, and you haven't subscribed to this, then please hit the subscribe, and please also hit the like button. That really helps a lot getting the algorithm going. And we are here on the MaXi YouTube channel. We're trying slowly to build a program that counters misinformation. We're not sponsored by anyone. We're not doing any ad reads. We're building this from the ground up. We here at MaXi want to call out the people that constantly deceive you. And at the same time, we want to educate you on food and nutrition with a science background. Today, we're talking about one of the largest muddy waters in the food and nutrition community. It's detoxing, and specifically we're talking detox diets. And this again has a lot to do with the food fear that we're talking about a lot on this channel. It's a specific group of people that want to keep you afraid about certain foods. They want to tell you that certain foods are only good and other foods are only bad. And that's often a lie. In 99.9% of the cases, that is just a lie. There are certain foods that are less healthy and certain foods that are more healthy. But there's not only good and only bad. That's just not a category for food. So that's a lie, and those are deceptions, right? I think from the very beginning, I want to make one thing clear. Our body is uniquely equipped to deal with toxins, right? Because all kinds of toxins exist in our environment ever since humankind. And in fact, life, not just humans, but all of life, plants, bacteria, you name it, animals, have evolved with toxins in their environment. And it's a hallmark of living organisms to be able to remove toxins from their bodies. Even bacteria do it. You know what we call this in science speak? Excretion. Kidneys, liver, gut, and our skin are part of a detoxification machine that is constantly running to get rid of unwanted substances all the time. And in fact, our body spends a lot of energy just doing that. So the question now becomes, right, after knowing all that, right, does some radical short-term diet program that somebody is going to sell you, somebody tells you to do, does that really help to enhance the function of those organs, or does it really help to get rid of toxins on the long go? I'm going to read you some examples. The first one we have very common, and this is a 10-day program where you replace all your meals with lemon juice, purified water, for what reason ever, cayenne pepper, and tree syrup. It promises you to remove toxins and get you better skin and blah, 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 right? There are liver cleansing diets. They're high fiber, low fat, dairy-free, vegetarian for 8 weeks. There's always like this time span to it. And then there are some diet plans that are being sold to you, right? There's Martha's Vineyards Detox Diet. It's a 21-day program. The Clean Cleanse program is a 21-day program. Cost almost $500. There's Dr. O's 48-hour weekend cleanse. Also, Dr. O's great expert in the field. There's the Blueprint Cleanse, which is only 3 days. There's Fat Flush. There's the Hubbard purification rundown, which was used by the Scientology church mostly. Those programs do come usually with like certain promises, right? So most of them say removal of toxins or weight loss, improving your liver function, whatever that means, right? Weight loss and other removal of toxins, elimination of toxins, removal of fat stored toxins. This is what they promise, without really specifying which type of toxins they want to remove. So the question becomes, what are we actually talking about? I want to talk about the substances that we are concerned about in the scientific community, right? It is very well established that especially synthetic chemicals can accumulate in the human body and they pose a higher risk, especially at higher doses. They can be toxic, hence the name toxins, things that lead to either severe health issues or that can even lead to mortality. That is what we're talking about. They can accumulate in your body and they can be taken in with your diet, but they're also in the environment. That's pretty well established. And I want to give you some examples of those chemicals that we are mostly concerned about if we talk about toxins in the human body. One of those big ones are persistent organic pollutants, or POPs. Those is a whole group of organic compounds. They're typically fat soluble, so they do really accumulate in your adipose tissue quite a lot. And those are usually found in flame retardants, pesticides, paints, coolants, lubricants. And they're not just in your food, they're mostly in the environment actually. And then they can accumulate, as I said, in your adipose tissue. DDT, if you remember DDT, that was this pesticide, insecticide. DDT is a POP, on average between 7 to 8 years for half of the amount of DDT to be removed from your body. There are phthalates as another synthetic organic group. They're often in cosmetics or in food packaging and plastic toys, and in some coatings even of nutritional supplements. They can cause reproductive issues, especially in animals, and they have anti-androgenic effects also in humans, so we know that. And there's bisphenol, commonly used also in plastic, food and drink packaging, and they have very similar issues, right? We're not done yet. We're not done. There's more. There are also natural occurring substances like molds or volatiles from fungi or from bacteria, or allergens that you have in plants and food and in animals. And those kind of substances can also cause disease and even more harm sometimes, and they are also found among the toxins. There's iodine that is important for you, but it can be also toxic if you consume too much of it. And then, of course, especially heavy metals that are toxic to you. The big ones are mercury and lead and arsenic and aluminum. Lead, probably out of all of those, is the most toxic ones, and there's a lot of difference between how they're accumulated, how long it takes for them to leave the body, etc. That's a pretty long list of stuff, and we're exposed, every one of us is exposed to those things more or less. Those are all environmental factors. It's not just your food. It's a lot of different things that affect how much of those toxins you accumulate in your body. So those are real issues that require real solutions. And the question is, are you being misled by detox diet and thinking you're going to be fine because you went on a detox diet? There is some evidence that certain nutritional components might possess a capacity to help your body getting rid faster of some of those toxins. Malic acid is an acid that is found in grapes. I do work a lot with grapes, and there is quite some malic acid in grapes. The evidence here is that it helped to excrete aluminum, which is one of the toxins, in the mouse models. Not in humans, but in the mouse model. Citric acid, which you can find in citrus fruit, hence the name, same model, same element. We have succinic acid, which can be found in blueberries or apples, right? And that's also like in mice. So that comes all from the same study though. Coriander was shown in mice models as well as in rainbow trout to eliminate some of the heavy metals. And then selenium as well helped to eliminate some of the metals, especially mercury. And that was in birds, in mammals, and fish, but also in humans. There has been quite a lot of work done on chlorella, which is a algae, at least in mice and rat models. So chlorella, for example, has been shown to assist in eliminating H6-CDD, which is 1,2,3,4,7,8 hexachloro-dibenzopyrdioxin, which is one of the POPs, right? That was in mice after feeding them a 10% chlorella diet versus a basal diet without that. And then during the first week, they had a 9.2-fold greater fecal excretion of H6-CDD, right, than in the basal diet. The mechanisms behind this, we don't know. Other radical diet approaches, the ones that we talked about before, they're a lot more questionable. The Hubbard purification rundown, for example, was used for 9/11 responders to get rid of a lot of the POPs and PCBs. There has been some research done on that as well, and it involves vitamins and minerals and polyunsaturated fats. There's a sauna program, there's an exercise program, right? It's supposed to help with PCB and HCB, which is a POP, detoxification. There are 2 studies on this, and both of those studies are extremely poorly conducted without a control group. It's very hard to make statements about whether or not a certain diet works. Fruit and vegetable juice detox programs that also aim to target PCBs and POPs, and they also have been tested also in similarly poor studies. For example, this study here wasn't even randomized and didn't include a placebo in it, which is then again very hard to make scientific conclusions out of a study like this. What does that actually mean for you? You should look at your body as a bank account, and the food is what you deposit. The bank, the only thing that counts is how much money you deposit. It doesn't matter where the money comes from. Earned that money in some shady way, or even worse, you could work for ICE. But unfortunately, your body, it also matters what type of food you deposit. If you all year long deposit junk food, and then you deposit for a few weeks some more healthier food, and then you go back to your junk food diet, and you start depositing again burgers and fries, which impact do you think will that have over time on your net return on your bank account? Very little evidence that short and radical changes in your diet will help to detox your body. But long-lasting changes are more persistent than radical short changes. Those changes can be small. You don't have to make all the big changes all at the same time. You don't have to go out and say, oh, Mark, yesterday I ate burgers and fries my entire life. From tomorrow on, I want to eat like broccoli, spinach, chicken breast, and brown rice. We talk small, gradual changes that you can use for the rest of your life, permanent. You can stop drinking sodas, for example. You could start eating 2 or 3 fruit a day. So we're talking small changes that you can do permanently, and they will affect your health a lot more than some 2 or 3 week detox diet, and then you go back to your shitty diet. Instead of keeping your bank account at 0, you could actually start building up some health wealth by depositing some positive, healthy foods to your diet every day permanently, just a little bit. And it will make a massive impact on your life, massive impact on your health. I promise you that. And that's it from me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I see you next week. I'm out.